Hey guys, what's up? This is B coming to you from G&A today. So I want to do an update on my tactical 22 LR collection. There's been a few that I added. I think I've added 4 just brand new rifles to this collection. There's been a couple of upgrades that I've made on some of these since then. This rifle is, I think, my most recent one I got. And this one kind of borders not being tactical. One thing that for sure qualifies it for being tactical is having a pistol grip. But of course this one doesn't. But I think the takedown part of it kind of puts it into that category. I'll probably eventually get a different stock on here where I can have a pistol grip because I really like that. But I'm also good without having one. So here's the Chiappa M4 22 LR upper. I had this in the last video, but I did upgrade the handguard here. Put just this cheap. I think I bought this handguard for like 20 bucks. I was using it to upgrade on this Colt, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But this handguard didn't end up fitting on that, so it fit perfectly on this Chiappa M4 22 LR upper, which uses just standard AR-15 threads for that barrel nut and for the handguard, all that. So it worked perfectly on there. Upper is actually pretty reliable. I mean, I don't know how many shots I probably put 200 or 300 rounds through this, and that thing works pretty good. Okay, so here's the MiG-22. I don't think I had this in the last one. It has like a 1.5 pound trigger, actually a little bit less than that. It's closer to a pound trigger. So the trigger on that is incredible. Very accurate rifle. The only problem with this rifle is the magazines. With this rifle you get 1 metal mag, and then after that you're out of luck because Rock Island or Arms Corps International or whoever that is that sells that, the other mags that you can get for this are polymer mags, and they do not feed properly. I've gotten 2 of them. They will not feed. And I mean, literally, out of a mag of whatever it holds, 15 or whatever, it may feed 2 or 3 properly. And I'm not the only one who's seen that. That's a huge problem with this rifle. So, GSG 522, and on this one I did the upgrade where I put, mine was a later one of 522, and I got the conversion kit from GSG where you can put on this original pistol grip where it's smooth and where you have the real circular sight here like an H&K. And I don't remember if I had already done this conversion in my last video or not, but I'll link to the video where I show how to do that and putting that on there. Pretty cool. Pretty small investment. It was like 20-25 bucks for that conversion kit. Okay, the Mossberg 715T. This is a pretty sweet rifle. I do not like the mag system on this. This little polymer thing here that releases the mag is already broken. And I mean, I broke it within, I don't know, shooting probably, who knows, 5-8 mags out of this, and just after where it's already broken, where this thing pulls out. I don't know, it's just, I do not like the mag release on this. But it's a pretty decent rifle otherwise. Very cheap. You can get them for less than 200 bucks. Here's the ISS MK22. And this is a very accurate rifle. Problem is, and it seems like it's just the luck of the draw. Sometimes people get these rifles and they feed properly, fire properly. Mine was the one that did not. And I was hoping because I got the newer generation one that it was going to be good, but it wasn't. And anyways, I did several mods on this, but the mod that ended up working to really get this thing working was trimming the firing pin return spring, and I've got a video showing how to do that. So that's what actually got this rifle to going. Otherwise, it was weird. It would try to shoot, and then you would go to pull the trigger, and it was just like a sponge, and it wouldn't do anything. Every time you tried to pull it, it wouldn't fire. It was just very weird. And I really think the main problem is that firing pin return spring is so stout that it doesn't let the firing pin actually get far enough to hit the primer. And once I trimmed about 3 or 4 coils off of that, this has worked pretty reliably since then, although I haven't really put a whole bunch of rounds through it since then. But I was able to put at the time I tested it, I was able to shoot 6 or 7 mags through it without one problem, and it definitely was not that way before. Okay, here's the Beretta ARX 160-22. This rifle is not made by Beretta, and actually I have a whole family of rifles here, and I'll tell you which ones they are. But this is not made by Beretta, and it's not even made by Walther. It's made by Umarex. Actually, all of these in this family are actually made by Umarex, and I've got a video to prove that. And the main thing is, if you look at the... Okay, and I'll put a little picture of it because it's going to be way too hard to try to get here, but there's a shield with 3 crowns in it, and we see that shield with 3 crowns in it. That pretty much tells you that this thing was actually made by Umarex. or at least it was proofed by the proof house that's just real close to Umarex's factory in Arnsberg, Germany, whereas Walther is way down in the south part of Germany, down in Ulm, and there's a proof house in Ulm itself, so they're about 5 hours apart there. So when you see that proof mark, you know it's from that proof house that's close to Umarex. With that said, I don't want people to think I'm bashing this rifle because I've got 5 of these rifles that I've spent my hard-earned money on, so I definitely like them. They're awesome rifles, but these nearly certainly are made by Umarex. It was one of the first, well, it was the first of this family of rifles that I got. A little bit more expensive. I paid like $350, and I've seen it around there, $350, $375, of course, all U.S. Here's the one everybody wants me to get. Was wanting me to get for a long time, and I did get it, and I have a series of videos on this where I was trying to upgrade the handguard, where I upgraded the pistol grip, the trigger guard, the buttstock, all that. I've got videos about all this. The handguard was the biggest problem because I've seen several videos and I don't disbelieve them. I believe it's true, but I could not find it, or I guess I really wasn't willing to spend the money. But the threads on this upper receiver are supposedly not like a standard AR-15 thread size. It's a smaller one that airsoft guns would use. And I got 2 handguards that were supposedly for airsoft rifles, but they did not work on that. And that Colt M422 right here, that handguard was supposed to be for an airsoft, but it fit on a standard AR-15 upper receiver, which, by the way, I forgot to mention that on this, I did the upgrade on this thing and took off the polymer upper receiver and just got a cheap, no-name aluminum standard AR-15 upper receiver. I could never find it, so anyways, what I ended up doing is I just had to drop in because what I got was the tactical one, they call it, but the tactical Colt M4 is the one that has the round polymer handguard, and that's all right, but I preferred to have this quad rail. Really, I wanted more like that where I had a key mod rail or something like that, but I bought 2 of those handguards, and they just did not work, so eventually I said, forget it, I'm not going to spend any more money. There was some other rails that I saw people mention specifically, but they were like $80 or $90, and I did not want to spend that much because, well, I just didn't want to spend that much. So anyways, got a whole series of video on this. I like this rifle. People have commented so much on my other videos about getting the Colt M4. Right here. Got it. Got it. It's mine. I got one, and I enjoy it. Oh, and also, this again is not made by Walther. It's made by Umarex. It has that shield right there. You can't see it, but I can, with 3 crowns on it. All right, the H&K 41622, and this is another one of those Walther Umarexes. Actually, Umarex owns Walther, so they can use their name, but it's actually Umarex making these. But I really, really like this one. Okay, and I kind of got these out of order a little bit. Put that one down there at the end, but the Uzi 22LR, this is another one of those Walther Umarexes, actually made by Umarex type of things. This is a this is a fun rifle. It's crazy. I mean, it's such an accurate representation of a real Uzi. I mean, as close as it can be. But I'll tell you one thing, this thing is like a tank. It weighs, I don't know, it's close to 8 to 9 pounds, something like that. It is heavy. And one of the bad things, well, I guess it's not really bad, but the buttstock on this thing is made out of metal, as it should be. But man, that thing is so slick. If you try to set it on anything, it just slides everywhere. I probably need to kind of rubberize the back of that, or maybe even just put some electrical tape or something to keep that thing from sliding, because with how heavy this thing is, it just slides all over the place. And then here's the H&K G36K. This rifle, again, is one of those Walther Umarexes, actually made by Umarex. Man, this gun is so long. It's got like a little over 18-inch barrel on it, which is weird. And the stock is just incredibly long also. And there's no adjusting length of pull. The only thing you can do is fold it. But it's just so long. And on the box it says this is a G36K, and the K is short for a German word Kurz, which means short itself. So this is supposed to be a real short model, and it is not. It's probably longer than any of the rifles that I've got in here. But it is awesome. I love it. I mean, 18-inch barrel, that thing is pretty accurate for being a semi-auto anyways. So 5 of my rifles fit into that Umarex Walther family. The Beretta, the Colt, the H&K 416, the H&K G36, and that Uzi. Here's another one. I just haven't really shot this rifle a whole lot, and I don't know why, because I really like it, but it is the SIG 522. I bought it used, and this was the double barrel combo where you get the shorter threaded barrel and then this longer 20-inch barrel, I think it is. And I like it because I like having that longer barrel on there. I mean, I'm glad I have some of those with short barrels, but very, very good quality rifle. This is no gimmicks going on with this rifle. It's got a good solid metal upper. It's got just a simple trigger hammer mechanism, unlike some of these that I have in my collection here. It's just and of course we know simple is better on that type of stuff. Okay, and then I'll finish off with these two guys. So obviously this is the 1522. This is the original one, and I think I've got the rear sight somewhere else. Of course, cannot go wrong with that rifle. But this is the first gen. And here's another rifle I've added since that video. Here's the second gen. And this thing is awesome. I mean, it really is the first gen, everything and more. Number one, this thing is cheaper than that rifle, which is crazy. It's cheaper. The first gen was always a pretty expensive rifle for a long time. I mean, you're looking at $400 to $500 on that rifle. It's come down now quite a bit, but this 1522 Sport, the second gen on it, I bought it after it had been on the market for 2 weeks, maybe 3, maybe. So barely on the market, and I bought it for $375, and I really paid a little bit more than what you can get it for today. And even around then, just a few days after that, which was earlier this year in 2016. I think it was in January actually, and making this video in September of 2016. But you can get this rifle for $350. It's several places. And but anyways, this thing is sweet. I like this M-Lock handguard that they have on here. It's very slim. That thing is just nice. All these models come standard with Magpul flip-up sights. And I know some people probably like the metal sights. Well, I know they do. I've seen people talking on my other videos. They prefer those metal sights, but if you like the Magpul sights and you like this handguard, this is definitely the way to go. Okay, in my last video on my Tactical 22s, there were several rifles. At the end of that, I said I wanted to get one of those. I said I wanted a Tactical 1022, and I kind of got that here. I mean, I'm going to consider it for sure as that. Of course, the Colt was another one I said I wanted to get, and there it is. So there's one rifle in there that I said I wanted to get that I still haven't gotten. I'm still just waiting for it to go on a really good sale, although probably is about as good as it's going to be. But it's that the STG-44. I think it's made by JSG, I believe. I still want to get that one. It's a Sturmgewehr lookalike, and so I'll probably get that one eventually. Another one that I want to get, but I don't think is going to happen, is Chris at SHOT Show of this year, 2016, in January of 2016, announced that they were going to be making like a Tactical 22. It's called the DMK22, which at this point it's vaporware. They had some prototypes at SHOT Show, and there's several people shown shooting them, but they said by June of this year that those would be on the market. And of course I know stuff gets put off, so it's possible that's happening, but we're in September now. And it's one of those deals where it's looking like, I think Chris did this several years ago also. They had some kind of 22 that they said they were going to do and ended up being nothing, didn't ever come out. If that rifle does come out, they say it's going to be a sweet rifle, and they said it's going to be less than $500. I'm going to be very, very tempted to add that to this collection. This is B coming to you from G&A today. I hope you enjoyed looking at my collection. Thanks for watching today.